Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. Up next at Second Stage Theater is one of this season's most eagerly awaited new musicals, Superhero, which features music and lyrics by Pulitzer Prize and Tony Award-winning composer Tom Kitt, a book by Tony Award winner John Logan, and is directed by Jason Moore. And it features a stellar cast led by Baldwin, Bryce Pinkham, and newcomer Kyle MacArthur. It begins previews on January 31st and be dropped by the Green Room 42 to give you a sneak peek and catch up with the company.
It's time to make a difference. It's time to let them know. Time to stand for something. Time to let my fears all go. I can do this. So let this be the moment that changes how I'm seen. No more indecision. No more living in between. I can do this. She's waiting for a hero, and I'm the one who's answering the call. But even as I think this, I'm still sitting here doing nothing at all. I could change that. I could change that.
First of all, how excited are you to be working on a brand new musical?
Unbelievably excited. Are you kidding me? The whole team are geniuses. You've got Tom Kitt, who writes the most beautiful music ever, John Logan, who's just a genius, and Jason, who guides us ever. You know, since it's my debut, it's my first professional gig, to be with this team is the coolest thing in the world, and I'm so grateful for it. Simon is 15. He's in high school. In a lot of ways, he's a very regular kid. He's he's very into comic books. He and his dad were very close. He's a very imaginative kid, and he's kind of having a tough time deal with the loss of his father. So, the regular difficulties of a high schooler, a teenager trying to come to terms with adulthood, trying to understand himself. That coupled with the tragedy he's trying to overcome and the grief that he and his mother are coming to terms with. The whole show is a difficult growing experience for him.
What's the most exciting part about working on a brand new musical?
Oh, I think just being the first person to sing these songs, the first person to think about the situation and make some choices, and Jason and I go back and forth a lot about what my point of view as a mother, because he is not a parent, but obviously has parents, but I am a parent, and it's always on your mind when you're a parent. And Tom Kitt is a parent. Like it's part of your sort of split personality, not split personality, but double identity. Who am I today? Where am I? Am I here giving an interview with you, or am I wiping up spilled milk at home? Like it's always on your mind. It's always in the back of your head. So I react to the script as from a mother's point of view, and that informs a lot of what I'm doing in the show.
Why should audiences come and see Superhero?
Because they will recognize themselves in it. Because there's a universality. It's about connecting with other people. It's about the loneliness that a big city can, or even anywhere, can make you feel, and how you are not alone and you are connected.
Yeah, we sang a song called In Between, which is these two characters sort of reconciling the reality of feeling like in the real world nothing is black or white. Everything kind of lives in this shade of gray, and that's something I definitely have learned, is that sometimes choices are not as clear as you want them to feel, but you just have to make them. And but this choice to do this show was not a hard one. When I saw the names on the list and I saw Kitt Baldwin, I sort of said, well, I'd be an idiot not to do that, and I was right. So I played Jim. He is the mysterious neighbor who moves in next door to Charlotte and Simon, her son. And Simon is obsessed with comic books, is sort of processing the loss of his dad through writing his own comics. And he becomes convinced that this mysterious loner next door is a superhero. He's a 15-year-old boy. So that becomes his obsession, and he sort of tries to enlist his mom in finding out more about this guy. And, hence the three of them sort of connect and help each other move each other's lives forward. But Yeah, Jim is a loner. He's kind of afraid to engage with anyone in the world, and he's really kind of isolated himself. And it's the two of them that help him move past that.
Maybe it's time to cut myself slack, to look at my life and hit reset.
Maybe it's time to pull myself back and live without regret. It's the endless struggle to wipe the slate clean, and then maybe I might give in and not fight, 'cause it's not black or white, it's in between.
This is the first musical I ever wrote. I didn't know what the form was. I was desperate to do it. And so to get a chance to work with Tom was amazing because he taught me what a book writer does. And he taught me how to negotiate music and dialogue in such a way. And there could be no more compassionate, educated, or wise teacher than Tom Kitt.
This has been thrilling in every way to work with John. I was such a fan before I even stepped into the room, and we've just hit it off as friends, as collaborators. And John is being very kind to say what he's saying, but he came with such expertise and story, and so much was on the page before I even started writing any music. And I remembered early in the process at some point watching Hugo and being at home by myself and just crying, and I was like, I'm so thankful that John's running this show with me. But really, he's extraordinary. It's been wonderful.
We were saying how every musical goes through this process, and we are sitting in the room, and it's happening all around us, and on top of that, it's so beautiful, so human, and so to be a part of it every day is magical, truly.
Absolute gift. Yeah, I think we all just feel so lucky to be a part of something that's so original, never been done before, and being a part of the creative process. It's just with all these legends. Hello.
Right, the legends. Ridiculous. Yeah.
So beyond exciting.
Yeah.
And I know we're all honored and grateful. Yeah.
It's John Logan, it's Tom Kitt, it's Jason Moore, it's your Kate, Bryce.
No, I mean, again, these Broadway legends and film and TV legends, all in the same space, and we're all creating this beautiful thing. And I'm learning so much every day from Kate and Bryce, and just being, around these people who have been doing it for years. So
yeah, I saw Kate, and I told her on the first day I saw her in Songbird, and I was just immediately, a huge fan. And I told her on the first day, I was like, I saw you in Songbird. I loved you. I'm so grateful to be working with you. And she was like, and now we're gonna share a dressing room and be best friends. Yes. And I was like,
What unlocked this musical for you for musical staging? I always ask you that because there's got to be a way in. Yes. What was it for you?
For me, it was about representing the physicality of loneliness, of isolation, of grief, of time passage, and of healing, and the deep love that a mother and child feels.
Why should audiences come and see Superhero?
Audiences should come and see Superhero because it is literally the most emotionally full musical I've ever seen, and the music is extraordinary.
Just working with this cast, working with each other and working with this incredible cast.
Well, I'm going to jump in on this one. I love this cast. This company is amazing. A lot of talented people, but everyone is generous. This is probably one of the most generous group of people I've ever been around. And then the talent level is so high in the room. And so I just think no one wants to be the weak link, I'll put it that way, in this cast.
It's extraordinary. I was just watching the presentation here. I was watching Bryce and Kate sing, and I was noticing how beautifully they breathe together. And they do that in the rehearsal room. They do it when they're doing their scenes. And then it suddenly occurred to me, everybody I watch in this, and hopefully I'm doing it too, we all breathe together, and I think that's not only a credit to the material, it's a credit to Jason's work. Jason Moore is one of the most generous and kindest directors I've ever worked with, and smart,
creating something from scratch for a musical is like the most sublime experience. It's the reason we all got involved, right? Because the best musicals usually are really smart, innovative ideas that only that author could have thought of. And this story comes from the brain of these two guys who have big hearts but love comic books. So it has sort of all of the fun and mystery plotting of a great comic book, but all the depth and heart of what those guys write for the musical theater. It's also really funny. It doesn't always sound funny, but it really is. So it kind of brings that side of it too. So it's a true joy to be in the room with the two of them.